Hello, my name is Maddie Miranda, and this is my synthesis and reflection on the Edsc 410 year. So I thought I'd start with a quote. The world's most famous and popular language is music. And yeah, I just think that that resonates well with this class. Music is essentially a universal language. I've seen this in many classrooms. I've seen this happen um, no matter who the people are, no matter their first language, like students understand music. It's inside of them, and I think that like it's great that I get to teach a subject that really it's an inclusive subject that though the verbiage may be different and the language may be different, we all understand what music is and what it means to us. So I'm a future music educator. Here's me. At the beginning of the semester, I was getting ready for my audition into the teaching credential program for the choral music education. I had taken all the prerequisites for the program and wanted to get a head start for the next school year. That's why I'm taking 410 now. When I started taking these courses, I wondered how it would be different from other EdSecs we had taken previously. Yeah, I was curious what it would look like. So, what I used to know about English learners before. Um, to be honest, not as much as I thought. I thought I was going into this class. I had learned a lot about students who need additional aid due to learning English in the EdSec diversity class. There wasn't as much as I could provide for my students on my end. Um, what could I provide? I thought that I was going to provide my EL students with additional materials as well as help as much as possible and everything that I could do. Um, I quickly realized how much the correct way to aid EL students goes much deeper than that, than just supplemental aids. EL students are not in any of my classes growing up, unfortunately. A lot of my schooling, we had separate classes entirely for the students, so I didn't really get to experience students going through EL programs or anything like that. Like had their own classrooms separate from us. Um, yeah, so it wasn't really something that I had experience with growing up. Um, all students deserve an equitable learning environment and education. So, though before starting this class, I didn't realize all the tools and resources there are to aid EL students, I knew for certain they deserved an equitable education. Through this class, I've now learned how much I can do as an educator to support these students within my future classroom. So, what am I taking into my classroom? Since I said this is going to be a music classroom, it's going to look a little different. And these practices from this class will be a learning process in my future classroom, but I'm going to do my best to go ahead and start implementing them. Or when I have to do lesson plans or I have to do certain things, I want to make sure it's an inclusive classroom for all learners. So something that I will take away from this is visuals. So visual tools are really important for all students, but especially ELs. And music symbols and visuals are important for really learning the material, providing ELs with lots of visual tools during instruction and extra aid if they need, allows them to bridge gaps they may have in their English proficiency while still engaging the material. That's really important. We say in music, it's like sound before symbol. So you hear it first, then you see, but sometimes students do need that visual so they understand and bridge that gap. The PSYOP. So this is the type of instruction that's meant for non-native English students, speaking students, to learn the classroom material while working on language skills, group work, speaking, listening, and writing. And this is something that we can definitely do in the classroom itself, especially if I have a lot of students who are going to be non-native English speakers, and that can help like group work and like in music we work a lot with each other, we think a lot with each other, and so I think this is like something that could be beneficial. And there's like the checklist to help me to make sure that my lesson plan follows that. So the EL toolkit, we got that extensive toolkit, which is really fantastic, full of lots of great material, and it provides educators with both guidelines and framework to follow with many different situations relating to EL students. So I worked on EL students with disabilities, but there's so many other categories that this toolkit provides us. It's our toolkit. It's for us to be able to use as a resource. So I definitely will be using that in the future. Differentiated instruction is something that I think is going to be the most important in my classroom. Differentiated instruction is a student-based learning, and it helps. And what I can do is help provide all types of learners with different types of accessibility. So I could provide different visuals. I can provide different audio. I can provide multiple types of text, multiple types of music, as well as like when I plan on giving theory exams, giving different types of theory exams. Um, so yeah, I think that's also really important too, in different formats. All right. And so these are just some words that I found that were like kind of tied everything together from this class. And overall, I really learned how to create a more inclusive classroom that supports learners of all types. I'm looking forward to this fall so I can take what I learned from this course and apply it to my student teaching. Thank you so much.